I was looking back through some of my previous episodes that I've done. I realized that I hadn't done anything really on technology. Um, and it's something where I've spent a good part of my career is with technology companies, typically software or some type of enterprise solution for some large organization. And it kind of brought me back to the revelation I had. It was probably in the early mid 90s that I was working with a student loan company. And uh, they were getting a lot of money from the government, which from that I learned about waste. But I was working in a different division, but one of the divisions of this company uh, was proximity wise close by. So there were a lot of people that I would have lunch with or whatever. And I remember they were going through a big system overhaul. They're going to completely put in a new uh, uh, software technology. Everything was getting updated basically into this new system. And 2 years into it, they weren't any closer to having this system work. And it had so many problems. And I was watching because I knew there was a lesson from it. But after the cost, the original cost was estimated to be 3 times the original what the original cost was of the system in order to get it updated to the way that they want. They finally scrapped it, but they millions, even tens of millions of dollars wasted on trying to put the system in. And so it was my first foray into how, well, one, government wastes money, but two, also how technology being implemented in kind of a haphazard way can really be costly to any organization. And so, you know, there are, uh, as far as purchasing technology, um, you know, it's going to be software. It might be an app nowadays that somebody wants to do for you, but technology is typically sold to solve a problem or make something better, and nobody dismisses that. Now you have a slew of software vendors. A lot of them I worked with, back in the old days with EDS, but you know they are there to sell software. They are to make money. And the problem with technology is that vendors uh, will have a limited view, and really two ways of your organization when they're trying to sell you some type of solution. One is there a lot of the software solutions or technology solutions are being sold to a functional part of an organization. And the second thing is they typically don't see the whole system. So you may, and you may be part of one of these organizations now, but I've been in organizations that have over 100 different types of software in them to make their organization run. And I'm not talking about Office, Microsoft Office or anything like that. I'm talking about specific solutions in order to kind of make the work get done. And finance buys maybe 3 or 4 solutions for what they're trying to do. Even technology itself, the IT departments will have, 50 different uh, pieces of software to do the types of things they do. Project managers have their thing. So the list goes on. HR has their own. And I know a lot of people are trying to sell enterprise solutions. They're out there. But the biggest problem that they have is that they can't see this whole system end to end. They don't take that time. They're typically taking the existing design of an organization and then kind of fitting in the new technology into that. Oh, what do you do here? Because it takes a while. If you're going to redesign something, then it's tough because, you know, people are under budgets. You got project managers asking what the date is, you know, are you going to meet the date? You got a whole slew of things out there, especially today. More some of the stuff that I was talking about with student loan company, it was pre-project managers. Well, if they only had a project manager, then it would have been 5 times the cost. But uh, but it's more the way that you approach these things, and the way that you need to approach them really is to not have them fail. And as I would say, that technology often inhibits rather than enables the system that you're working in. So, what's the fix for this? Well, you know, as part of a design before technology, repeat after me type of thing. You have to understand the end-to-end system that's being worked on. Before you even enter any application, any uh, type of software that may be in there, even new hardware that's needed usually to for some of these software applications. You need to understand what your system looks like without the technology. Just replacing technology, and you're basically just taking the old processes, the old way of doing things, and putting it into a new system. I don't quite understand what the benefit of that is. And then along with that design, uh, you know, you have to have it be done manually first. What does it look like if you were just to do the work? And I think people miss this because they want the technology to enable, but they force fit it into what's going on. So let's just, as an example, um, if you're working in a contact center, they usually have, because they oftentimes they'll have multiple applications and that uh, you know spill over into other departments, those types of things. But when the customer calls a contact center, um, they're going to get all types of interactions from customers. And if you try and uh, code or develop software for that, get very expensive, number one, for all the types of things that are going to be out there. And sometimes just not having software at all might be a better solution. But you better at least know that, because, software gets expensive because people say, oh, I just needed to do these 4 things, and then discover that it's 50 things. And then all of a sudden you're having to expand your budget. You're having to, have technology maybe do things that it wasn't originally supposed to do. And these things all, takes time, cost overruns, all the things that I talked about. So, before you bring technology into your organization, get a good grip on your design. Now, in the executive education program that I do, it takes you step by step. You do this, you do this, you do this before you start into even redesigning. Let's understand the system that you're currently operating in before you start to bring technology into the equation. So, anyway, design before technology. That's my message this week. And remember, there is always a better way.